Hey guys, this is Jay Calder of JAYONBOXING here giving you a personal prediction for Joshua Buatsi versus Azeez. And as always, this is just my take, of course. Your predictions can be left down in the comments section below. Very interesting domestic dust-up, so would love to hear all your thoughts, your bets, all that good stuff down in the comments section below. And a little bit of fight info here. We have Buatsi taking on Azeez, as mentioned, at the O2 Arena in London, England, airing on Sky Sports in the light heavyweight division with no titles on the line. Now, to me, this is a very interesting domestic clash between two undefeated light heavyweights who are kind of both in need of that one win to propel them into the limelight or to the top level at 175 pounds with any kind of serious notion. Buatsi has been on the verge for over a year, it seems, but seems to kind of lack that star-making performance, that one that really breaks him out and propels him into that area. Azeez has been sort of a question mark. You just don't know how good he is. He feels like he could be maybe domestic European at times. Other times, maybe he's ready for the world stage. You just don't know. He hasn't truly been tested. And the fun part is that the winner really has a lot of opportunities at 175 pounds. So not only is this going to tell us a lot about them, but the winner has a lot to look forward to at light heavyweight. Plenty of solid fights to make in the division. So, which fighter uses the other to take that next step up the ladder? Let's break this one down and find out. Now, for Buatsi to win, I think you want to keep the jab busy. Now, this is going to do everything for Buatsi if he uses it, but he has to use it. And it has to be quick and be stiff. He can't just kind of throw it out there as a rangefinder, a little too lazy. No, he has to be able to throw it quick, stiff, and push Azeez back with it. This will do a number of things. This will help tame Azeez, who wants to kind of come forward and get his hands busy and make this more of an action fight. But this also helps set up the right hand for Buatsi, and he has a good, solid, straight right hand. So naturally, you're going to want to set it up anyway while you're taming Azeez. This can also help press Azeez backwards, and he's far less effective on the back foot. Buatsi himself wants to get stepping in this fight anyway, so it's certainly going to benefit him in a number of ways. If he can get that jab going, vary it, double it up, vary the speed of it at times, but just make sure it's stiff and make sure it gets there when you really throw it with any kind of force so that you can then press him back, make him less effective, and then start throwing that right hand. And as I sort of alluded to there, settle Azeez down early. Azeez likes to pile on and build. He's one of those fighters that ramps up the action, doesn't throw giant punches, but will wear you down. He wants to come forward. Obviously, you're going to want to take that play away from him. The jab, as mentioned, will be key in doing this, and of course the right hand behind it as well. But you can also do this with quick counters, some subtle angles that kind of make it hard for him to commit. And the more he has any kind of struggle with committing, the better it is for you to then be able to kind of set up your kind of work and land effectively. This will begin to make questions kind of whiz through the head of Azeez, who isn't going to be able to just step in and be as free-flowing with his combinations as he'd like to be. And once you have him tamed, you can then start getting into a lot more of your work and going through the gears, having success. And finally, I would say, use quick combinations. Combinations will be the end game here for you to some extent. As I mentioned, you want to tame them first, and you want to use that jab and that 1-2 or even the double jab at times to do so. Once that happens, then it will be your time to get going with your offense using those combination shots in the process. You keep the jab going to kind of push him back, setting up those power shots. When he's up and against those ropes and isn't quite familiar with that kind of ground for himself, this is when you'll let those hands go. Your speed will score more. Then you can back away and reset and repeat. Doesn't have to be complicated. You just want to make sure you're doing it on your terms and not allowing him to come in right through that front door and set and dictate the pace of this fight. Do it yourself with those quick combinations and the keys that I mentioned before, and I think you'll have success in this contest. Now, switching over to Azeez. For Azeez to win, I think you want to land the overhand right. It's a shot that you throw very well, pretty quickly, and you place it well. You're very good at kind of finding the target with it. So, naturally, you're going to want to use that shot pretty consistently in this fight. It's also a shot that can close the gap and allow you to step in and get your work going. Buatsi is a guy who wants to use a bit more range at his best. Naturally, you're going to want to take that away from him by stepping in, and one way in which you can do this is by throwing that overhand right, especially if he gets a bit lackadaisical with his jab. Then once you're inside, you can really get to work, but start it off with the right over the top. If you're able to do this, I think you close that gap, get to work more on the inside, which is what you're looking to do, potentially get Buatsi on the ropes, and really start making him pay. I would also say dig to the body. As I mentioned, you want to get inside, but once you're inside, digging to the body will do wonders for you, especially if you're Azeez, who can throw a left hook to the body with some pretty solid force. I like when I see you throw that shot. This will also take some of the speed away, some of the movement away from Buatsi, and force him to have to stand and fight a bit more with you, which I think in most cases you're going to want for your personal benefit. Again, you don't want to get caught freely with shots, but you do want him throwing so you can counter, throw in between those shots, and potentially make him pay. You aren't a massive puncher, but this will wear Buatsi down if you're just mauling him, throwing more to the body once you're inside, and then really forcing a kind of tempo on him that he might not be interested in fighting. This also will lower the guard as well, which of course will make it a bit more of a war and give you the best chance of landing something upstairs. Solid puncher or not, if you're landing consistently enough, he's certainly going to feel the effects. And finally, continue to apply pressure. Ultimately, pressure will be the key for Azeez. And I've alluded to a lot of that in most of the points that I'm mentioning here, either for or against Azeez. He needs to be on the front foot, applying pressure and building in this contest. Buatsi wants to sit and set up. You have to take that play away from him by coming forward and making it more of a fight. Again, as I always say, you don't have to be wild, you don't have to be reckless, but what you have to do is make this a fight more than a boxing match. You can do that by applying pressure. You can do that by throwing that overhand right and landing something with force early on, then getting more of your combinations going, again, particularly to the body when you are on the inside. And I think if you're able to do that more often than not, you'll have some solid success in this contest. Now, in terms of my pick here, I pretty much believe I'm going to be in a bit of the minority here, but I'm picking Azeez in a bit of an upset. I think Buatsi might start well enough, jabbing and scoring well, but I think Azeez turns it around when he steps in and starts pressing Buatsi up against the ropes, probably getting inside due to those overhand rights. Azeez, once he's inside, will begin to dig to the body, land those right hands while coming in, as I mentioned, and force a ragged fight out of Buatsi. As the rounds wear on, Azeez will press more and pull away just enough for the win. Winner, Azeez via close split/majority decision. Now, in terms of the betting odds here, you have Buatsi as a pretty sizable favorite, coming in at a -375 with Azeez coming in at a +260. You can find wider odds than that, but that's kind of what I'm settling on here. I think Azeez has great value for me because of my pick. I'm getting 2.5 to 1. I'll definitely take that with a, medium-sized bet, I would say. I don't know why. Just have a feeling in this particular fight. Could definitely be wrong, but it's what I'm feeling. That's where I kind of see the value in terms of the money lines. In terms of the over-under, it is set at 10.5, with the over coming in at a -310 and the under coming in at a +225. I am predicting a decision. I think either way it goes, honestly, it's probably going to be a close decision fight, so the over makes the most sense here. You happen to see something that I don't, you're getting decent enough odds for the under, and, basically it is just a decision versus stoppage kind of verdict here with that line, so certainly something you might be able to talk yourself into, but in any event, those are your odds. And my prediction record as of this recording is 31-12 with 22 exact, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Love to hear your thoughts, predictions, bets, so on and so forth. And of course, check out all the socials here, comment, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And be sure to visit JAYONBOXING.com for schedule, results, betting odds, grades, all of that. And as always, until next time.